been asked to give a brief note, as Victoria said, regarding our journey at the present time, where we've got to so far, our vision, where we're currently at, and the key factors we've faced in getting to the present stage. Now, the Kirk's located between the villages of Drimmen and Garthacarn at the south end of Loch Lomond within the National Park area. The building that you saw there previously, it was a listed building, and it was built in 1813, surrounded by a working graveyard. But the site's been a place of worship for centuries, and the first formal recording we have of this dates back to 1325, when a patronage was granted for worship by somebody called Robert the Bruce. And for centuries, the site's been the focus for matches, hatches, and dispatches. Now, I'll run through the sort of brief history line that we've had. A lot of the information is also on the HTN website, which is very good. We've got our own website as well, that is Kilmaronock Kirk.org.uk, and the previously mentioned publication, Your Church, Your Community, which is available behind me here, is very good. We're a case study B within that, in fact. So our vision, essentially, the church being closed in May 2017, the vision of the trust is, and purpose, is to deliver a fully restored historical church building to be available for flexible and sustainable community use, with an emphasis on heritage of the site for the benefit of locals and visitors. And in a nutshell, that's what we've been trying to achieve. In addition to the church itself, we have a car park, a glebe field, and a little field to the north of the church, which we intend to develop into a community asset for events, place of reflection, and have some artifacts therein also. So the actual timeline, the Kirk was closed in May 2017. There was a public meeting in June 2017 at which there was demonstrable demand, that there was an interest to keep this long-serving Kirk going. Various processes took place then. Oscar registration was 2017. Initial funding sought from local residents, as well as specific other external sources. A bank account was opened in February 2018. Membership opened 2018. Another meeting in August 2018 with demonstrable demand. And so it went on from November 18 to November 19, feasibility study, further funding applications, valuations, business plans. And by November 2019, we'd got to the stage where, with letters of support, etc., there was a full application that made prior to that to the Scottish Land Fund. And in November 2019, that full application was successful. So we could then progress. You've got this to look forward to at St. Lawrence. However, that was an early stage. The next stage was to make the legal offer to the church. Now, at that stage, and hopefully things have improved for anyone trying to purchase a church, and this was, remember, you may recall the dark days of COVID. It started in March 2020, so that had a knock-on effect to us. But the price was agreed, and despite delays for other reasons, we took ownership in February 2021. And as you rightly said, that brings with it a host of other issues. The phase one we had was to save the building, because it had been neglected for many years by the previous owners. So the process from May 21 to May 22 was very much focused on the external building works. And we had enough funding to get an architect appointed to help us, to have funding pledges and statutory consents obtained. And we were eventually able to arrange for a contract between August 2022 it started, finished in April 2023, and with more cost than we thought, it was completed at that time at a cost of £300,000. So at that stage, the building was saved for the community and visitors' use. And the next step would be internal renovation. So up to that stage, obviously, we're very grateful to all our funders to date. And if we haven't thanked them already, taking on board a previous comment, we'll reiterate our thanks to them all. Some are here just now today, the National Churches Trust, HES, and the Architectural Heritage Fund, and apologies if I missed out any others. We had a number of other contributors as well from various funding organisations, and a huge support from, the local community. We were also fortunate then, following on from that, to get significant funding from Forth Valley and Lomond Leader. And that allows us in this phase 2 to progress with secondary items. And that included secondary glazing and an eco boiler, insulation, and ground solar panels, all taking the eco box that we've heard mentioned previously. And we're very grateful to Forth Valley for that funding, and that enabled those works to be substantially completed by that time. So, where are we now? Well, the current activities are that. That's the timeline. Yep. Current activities are that for the internal renovation, we have design and tender documentation completed. We've gone out to tender, and final building warrant is awaited. And we've recently heard that we had success with the National Lottery Heritage Fund. So to them, we're very grateful for their funding. However, we have to match that with other funding, and we're working towards that at the present time. We're substantially on the route, but we've got more work to do. At present, the Kirk is very much open for business, as it has been since we took ownership, and that includes various activities. We hold ecumenical services, a minimum of 6 per year, funeral services, where with regard to heritage, we have escorted Kirk and graveyard tours. We've held open days, plant sales, arts and crafts. We had a bee school a couple of years ago using the facilities inside and the land that I previously mentioned to the north of the school to have bees. Folk nights, specialist talks, bat evenings, and a bioblitz, in fact, that was very interesting in the north plot. We also have numerous trustee and other associated meetings that are held within the Kirk. So that basically is our journey to date, and each of you here representing your churches will be at a different stage in your journey. But what I've moved on to here now is, and excuse me if some of these are maybe obvious aspects, but I felt they were worth emphasizing in the nature of and the background to quite a lot of the things that we think are key factors for success, certainly as to the stage that we've got to. Time. It takes time. I mean, the church, Kilmaronock Kirk, was closed in 2017, and what we've done is preserve it as a building. That's all, but it's taken 7 years to do that. So it does take time. Organization, we've been very fortunate in that, excuse me, we have a very strong team of trustees, secretary, and that's double-edged in that it covers governance, and we've got a minutes secretary, treasurer, funding applicators, events organizers, IT personnel, etc. And it helps if also there's a backing for legal and construction professional assistance, depending on the nature of the work that's underway. Teamwork is vital. Work together, and that's been mentioned by other speakers. There'll be subgroups required, and remember, everyone's a volunteer. So there's an awful lot of juggling that's required. Everyone's got to talk to each other. There's lots of spinning plates going on, as you can imagine, particularly balancing funding, different funders, and construction costs for different elements, and when these are going to arrive. Expect the unexpected also. The lady this morning very kindly pointed out that the VAT that one of the organizations at present contributes towards organizations like us could be under threat. That may cause us to juggle to find another 25,000 or so. We'll just have to tackle that when we know it, but these things happen. Equally, as another speaker mentioned, somebody might suddenly donate money that you weren't expecting. And we are in the fortunate position that that was the case with ourselves. Communications, I mean, it's obvious, but clear and accurate, keep the stakeholders updated, building owners, funding organizations, local supporters and funders, and IT, website, social media can be important to that, but it's important to keep it accurate. And that was mentioned also by a previous speaker, that everything you do should be genuine and as accurate as possible. Moving on, monitoring progress. We have monthly minuted meetings to check actions, see how things are going, to make key decisions, some of which can be make or break, which direction we're going into. Do we stop now, leave the church as it is, or do we press on to open it up, etc., etc.? And it's all part of a roller coaster process. I've noted here thoroughness in that dealing with others, and particularly the funding organizations, there's a great need to be meticulous in the application so that every detail is there, it's unambiguous, and hopefully that'll be successful. We've been very fortunate that Janet and Mary, who are both here just now, they've been terrific in fulfilling that role, amongst other things, and our success rate with the funders has been terrific. I think it's important also to note community involvement. And we found it to be as all-encompassing as possible is important for a sustainable future. So, for example, none of our trustees have ever been church board members on the previous church, and vice versa. No previous church board members are trustees of our organization. Most are local, but some have also come from villages round about who have been interested in what we are trying to do, and because of the heritage that we have, and to assist with what we are trying to achieve. So we thank all people who have helped us along the way. You'll find that in your journey that all the funders are very helpful. Just keep pressing, they'll answer your questions, and they'll give you good, sound advice, as will, in our experience, all the organizations that you come across. And I think that's it. Patience and perseverance is how I would end. Keep at it, and whatever stage you're at, I'm sure you can do it. Thank you very much.